Hey YouTube viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Goja. Now what Goja is basically like a sweet empanada. It's a really soft dough and then it's filled with coconut and it's flavored with ginger, nutmeg, vanilla, and it tastes so good, guys. And you know what? It is fried, not the healthiest, but it's really delicious. So I'm really excited today because this is going to be a collaboration video with Romi over at Simply Blissful Living. Now Romi originates from the island of Fiji, and just like in Guyana, a lot of her dishes originate from India. So we decided why not show our variation on a dessert that we would make in our different countries. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Goja, and she's going to be showing you guys how to make Gujiya or Gojiya. And it's very similar. The mixture, as far as the coconut mixture, is a little different for the inside. But we decided, let us just show you guys our variations. A lot of different cultures have a lot of different ways of making certain dishes, but they really all originate from the same place. So we thought it would be pretty cool to show you guys that. So I really hope you guys go ahead and check out Romi's channel. She has a lot of dishes on there. She does vlogs, and she just also talks about how food plays a role in her life, and she has an amazing channel. You guys really go check her out. Be sure to like up her videos, subscribe to her channel, and leave comments on her videos also. So I will have her recipe for Gujiya or Gojiya linked right up here on this screen. And I really just hope you guys enjoy this collaboration. I'm really excited to make this dish for you guys. I know my mom tells me that she has these wonderful memories of sitting with her mom in the kitchen making Goja. And it's just spur of the moment things like that that make me feel happy. And that's the reason why I want to show you guys all of the dishes that I grew up eating. It's because of family memories like that. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Once again, make sure to check out Romi's channel. And let's get into the recipe, guys. The list of ingredients that I'm going to need for my Goja is quite simple, and you should have most of these ingredients on hand already. So in my bowl here for the filling, I have some freshly grated coconut, and if you guys want to see how I open the coconuts and grate them myself, you can go ahead and check out the video that I did post a while ago. I'm going to link it right up here in the screen. And I also have some brown sugar here. Now you could use brown sugar or you could use regular granulated sugar. It's totally up to you. And I have some red food coloring, and this is optional. The traditional way of making Goja is to go ahead and color it red, but if you don't like to use food coloring in your cooking, you can totally omit this. I also have some vanilla extract, and if you wanted, you could go ahead and use almond essence or mixed essence or anything you have on hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some vanilla today. And to flavor my mixture a little further, I have some freshly grated ginger and some ground nutmeg. And these are as per your taste, so you could play around with them a little bit. And for the dough, I have some all-purpose flour. I also have some baking powder, some unsalted butter that I've gone ahead and I've cut up into little cubes, and I have some water to go ahead and combine my dough. The first step in making your Goja is to go ahead and start making the filling. So what I have here in my heavy bottom pot, I have it on a medium-high heat, and it's time to go ahead and start parching or patching our coconut. So you just want to go ahead and in the dry pot, go ahead and add in all of that coconut. Now the reason for doing this is because you want to dry up the coconut a bit. Being that you're going to stuff this into the dough and then we're going to fry it, you do not want to risk the filling being a little too juicy and then that filling leak out in the oil. So we're going to go ahead and parch this on a medium-high heat for about 10 minutes, just until the coconut starts to get a little golden and it starts to dry up a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep stirring. I'm going to be careful and regulate my heat so this way the coconut doesn't burn. And then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when it's done parching. My coconut has been parching here for exactly 12 minutes, and as you guys can see, it's developed a nice golden brown color, and it's dried up quite a bit, so it's not as moist as it was when I put it in the pot. And I did this over a medium heat, as I said before. Medium-high heat, you just want to regulate that heat and make sure it doesn't burn, because coconut can burn very quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this into the same bowl I had it in before, and we're going to work on the rest of the filling. Once you've transferred your parched coconut into your bowl, we're going to start to add in the rest of the ingredients. Now the reason why I didn't do this in the pot was because, when I add this sugar, that sugar will start to melt in the pot, and then it's going to become very wet. And then at that point, it's going to be very hard to fill your Goja before you go to fry them. So you want to go ahead and put it in your bowl so it can cool down a bit, and then we can add in the rest of the ingredients. So at this point, I'm going to go in with my red food coloring. And as I said before, you can go ahead and omit this, or you could use as little bit or as much as you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and add in my vanilla on top of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my nutmeg and my ginger. And as I said before too, these are as per your taste. So if you're not a fan of ginger, you could omit it, or you could use less, or if you really love it, you could use more. Totally depends on you. So what I want to do is I want to work in those ingredients that I just added in. Remember, you don't want that ginger to clump up in one spot. You want to get it everywhere. The most efficient way would probably be to get in there with your hands, of course once the coconut has cooled, but I'm going to use a spoon because I don't want to get my hands colored red from that coloring. Once that's all mixed in, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our sugar. Once you've added in all of your sugar, you want to make sure that you go ahead and mix it up really well, because you know brown sugar can have a lot of lumps. And of course you could go ahead and use white sugar for this, or cane sugar, organic sugar, whichever sugar works for you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give this mixture a taste. And for me it's perfect, it has a perfect amount of sweetness. And if you wanted, you could add more sugar when you taste this, but I think this sugar is perfect for me. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set this aside, and it's time to go ahead and work on our dough. So to make my dough, what I'm going to do first is into my all-purpose flour, I'm going to go ahead and add in all of my baking powder. I'm going to give that a quick mix. And then we're going to go in with our butter. And remember, I said this is unsalted butter. If you wanted to use salted butter, it really wouldn't make a difference. It would probably just have a little saltier taste, obviously, but it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. And you want to go ahead and just work that in with your fingers. The butter is going to give the dough a nice softness, and when it's done frying, it's going to be really soft, almost flaky, and it's just going to be the perfect dough. It's time to go ahead and start adding in our water. And this dough is quite similar to if you were making bake or sada roti. You don't want it too soft, nor do you want it too hard. You just want it to be in the middle. So I'm going to add water a little bit at a time. So at this point, once you get all your water worked in, have a nice medium dough. It's soft, but not too soft. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to knead this for about a minute, just until the dough gets a little smooth on the top, and then we're going to go ahead and start filling our Goja. So I'll show you guys what that looks like in a second. Once you finish kneading your dough for about a minute, you're going to see it's nice and smooth on the top, and it's not too soft. It's actually nice and springy. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start separating the dough into little balls, so this way I can go ahead and start filling my Goja. I ended up getting 16 pieces of dough. Now depending on how big or how small you want to make your Goja, the amount is going to vary, but I figured that I would make them a little small today. They're supposed to be small to begin with, so I don't want to have them too big. Once you finish making your dough into uniform little balls, you want to go ahead and cover with a damp paper towel while you go ahead and fill your Goja one at a time. The reason for this is because you don't want the tops to dry out. So what I'm going to start by doing is taking one of my dough balls and I'm going to dip it in a little bit of this dry flour. I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it just a bit. And you don't want to use a lot of dry flour, because if you do, what's going to happen when you go ahead to fry the Goja is that excess flour is going to sink to the bottom of the pot and it's going to burn in that oil. So you want to try to omit that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead with my rolling pin very carefully, and I'm going to try to roll these as round as possible. And I'm not going to roll them too thick. I'm going to roll them pretty thin, but not really transparent. So I would say 1/4 of an inch thick is perfect. So that's perfect right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of my mixture. And you don't want to overfill them or else they'll have a hard time being closed. But I think that's a good amount. And then I'm going to go ahead with some water. And I'm just going to dab the sides. Just the sides of half of it, so this way it'll stick. So just like I'm making like an empanada or something like that, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to push down the sides. And you want to go in with a fork and you want to just crimp the edge with the fork. The reason for this is because you do not want those ends to open up in the oil. If that happens, then you're going to end up with a real mess on your hands. All of that coconut is going to get into the oil, it's going to start to burn and splatter, and you really just want to omit that. So I'm going to go over with the fork about twice, and then you have one Goja right there. Before we get into the frying process, I just want to show you another way that you could fill your Goja. So as I said before, you're going to go ahead and dip your ball of dough in some dry flour. And we're just going to roll it out. You want to try to get it as round as possible. into about 1/4 of an inch thick. So I think that's perfect right there. And we're going to go ahead with about 2 tablespoons of our mixture. And then we are going to dampen the sides with some of that water. And then you just want to go over and fold it. Now, instead of using the fork, what you could go ahead and do is press down the sides. And then you can go ahead and start taking the end and moving it in. And you're going to keep going in like a little pattern. Just keep pushing the end into the dough. You want to keep going until you reach the end. And this is just another way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way. It's totally up to you. This one looks a little more decorative than the fork actually. But honestly, whatever's easy for you will work. So what I've been doing is I've been putting these rolled out and filled Gojas onto a surface that I've had with some flour at the bottom, so this way they wouldn't stick. So I'm going to go ahead and continue rolling out and filling the rest of my Gojas, and then we can go ahead and start frying. So I've had my oil heating up here on a medium-high heat. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping in some of my Gojas. So you just want to be very careful as you drop them in. And as soon as you drop them in, you want to give them about 10 seconds to fry. And then we're going to go ahead and flip them immediately. Now the reason for this is because when Goja goes in the oil, what tends to happen is that dough tends to expand. So what can happen is if you leave it on one side for too long, that dough is going to expand a lot and they can end up popping. So you want to go ahead and seal the bottom, flip it, seal the other side, and then you can let them get brown for a bit. So these are going to take about 2 minutes in this hot oil. And I do have my oil on a medium-high heat. And just as with anything that you're frying, you want to make sure you keep that oil regulated, so this way they don't burn. As you guys can see, they're getting nice golden brown spots on them already. And the ones that I crimped with the fork, as well as the ones that I just folded over on each other, both of them are frying beautifully. No one is better than the other, it's just whichever one you prefer to finish and make on your own. So I'm just going to keep flipping them over, and they're getting really nice and golden brown on each side. So you want to let these cook for about 2 minutes max, because it's only the outside dough that needs to cook. The inside is already cooked. What's going to happen is that hot oil is going to heat up the inside, and the sugar is going to start to melt, and you're going to have a really nice juicy Goja on the inside with a nice crispy exterior. I'm just going to leave it here for a few more seconds. I can see that they're really nice and golden brown now. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take them out. I have a plate that I've lined with paper towels that I'm just going to go ahead and lay them down on. And at this point, we're just going to continue the process. Alright guys, so all of my Gojas are done. I just wanted to show you the inside of one, and just look how beautiful and golden brown it is on the outside. All of them came out this perfect color, this perfect shade of brown, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut into it and show you guys what it looks like. Look at that guys, that beautiful red filling on the inside. And as you guys can see, the filling has gotten moist because of all that sugar. It's just melted and made that coconut really nice and juicy on the inside. I'm telling you guys, I went ahead and gave this a taste already. The ginger is perfect on the inside. The nutmeg adds to that flavor of that coconut. And the dough is perfect and soft and flaky. It's just the best thing ever. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that recipe for Goja as much as I did. Make sure to go ahead and check out Romi's channel. I will have her recipe linked in the description box below as well. And I had it linked in the beginning of the video up on the screen. So you guys be sure to check out her video. I hope you guys enjoy that video. And just go ahead, like and subscribe to my videos if you haven't done so yet. Go ahead and comment down below on what you guys would like me to make next. And also give my grandmother some love in the comments down below. Without her, I would not be able to know how to make some of these recipes and share them with you guys. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again with another one of my videos.